possess it, and my job is that the cross gets heavier. And if you cannot carry a heavy cross for the expansion of the territory I gave you,
deflecting
maybe
with a holy word salad. That's what she just did. So I just skipped forward a little bit. So you didn't miss anything. She was literally going into God leading her this way, and God telling her to lie about her dissertation and her degrees and her doctorates and all these things. God made her do it. God led the path and she followed it. Right, that's all.
If it's real, let it stand. If it's fake, let it end. Step into the arena, let the breakdown begin. You don't gotta agree, but you will understand. Gladi versus the algorithm.
Welcome to another reaction video here on Gladi versus the algorithm. I am your host, Dr. Gladi. Yeah, I decided to become a doctor, right? Because other people can do it, so why can't I, right? So obviously we're talking about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant today, and man, her story is unraveling little by the hour. Not just the day, by the hour. There are so many influencers coming out, so many people that have followed her for a while, and they're now realizing like, wow, this person isn't who I thought she was. An actual doctor that went to the same school that this young lady went to has come out and said, hey, I was able to get my transcripts. But that's later on in the show. So as your host, Dr. Gladi, I will get started with this video where she went on an interview and she was actually talking about her book. And she was asked a burning question.
Strong friend.
Yeah.
So I got to check in on strong friends. I want to check in with you because you've gone viral recently. People questioning your credentials, whether you should even be giving advice that you're giving.
Right.
How are you doing, particularly within the last few days?
Thank you for asking that. I love that. I'm actually doing really good. I don't know a person who has received this amount of free marketing. It couldn't have happened in a better time for my book that just, launched a couple of days ago. And within 24 hours, we made the bestsellers list, not only for print, but for the ebook. And so that's very exciting. Also, I know a couple of things. There's promises that God has for us. He says that all, not some, all things are working for your good. And your job is to possess it. And my job is that the cross gets heavier. And if you cannot carry a heavy cross for the expansion of the territory I gave you,
deflecting
maybe
with a holy word salad. That's what she just did. So I just skipped forward a little bit. So you didn't miss anything. She was literally going into God leading her this way, and God telling her to lie about her dissertation and her degrees and her doctorates and all these things. God made her do it. God led the path and she followed it. Right? That's all she said.
You're not ready, because to whom much is given, much is required. And so it's important for people who are in service, in leadership positions, to not personalize, right? When you have folks who come in and attempt to crucify what you have going on, because your job is to not get weary in your service. And I'll land on this. My obedience is to God, not to people. And so as long as I'm in his will and I'm serving and I'm doing his.
I'm pretty sure God doesn't want you lying to his people or your people, right? Your flock, your sheep, right? I'm pretty sure that's not what he wanted you to do. But this is what you're choosing to do, right? And that's wrong, right? You are putting a lot on God right now, right? And I say that because if it does come out that you are lying, right? All of this God shit that you're talking, right? That you're speaking and spewing, it's going to come back to haunt you. The devil's going to be sitting around, rocking back and forth, waiting for this moment, right? And it's not going to be a good look for you because social media is going to tear you up. I keep telling you, come clean, come clean so you don't have to deal with it as bad as it will be if it comes out with solid evidence that you are not who you say you are. I'm just saying. Be careful.
Word, my sheep will know my voice. Even the sheep in wolf clothing. That is not my battle.
But
That's
with the
his.
questions that are out there, why not provide the proof of your degree?
Simple.
Why not?
Well, a couple of things, right? I have multiple degrees. And my thing is that my proof isn't something that I have to prove to individuals. My proof is already within my credentials, my degrees, and also more than just my titles. It's in how effective I've been. All of my sessions have been live.
And how effective I've been, right? And this is where I'm on her side. She is extremely smart. She's brilliant, right? Based on what I've seen, right? She knows what to say. She knows how to say it. She sounds educated. She sounds like she can be a doctor. And I feel that because she has the knowledge, right? I think it's more of a thing to be proud of when you can do this without even having the proper education, right? In my opinion, right? That means you learned through life lessons. That means you learned from the streets. You learned from anecdotal experiences, and you were able to put things together enough to sound this smart. Yeah, you have some education, right? I think you've gotten your master's at something, right? You have some education, but what you need to understand is when you're this smart and you're going through this in social media and being an influencer, you don't need a degree. You don't need a doctorate. You don't. You don't need a doctorate. People are going to listen to you. You have a pretty face. You have a decent body. Yeah, you're older, but you present very well. You articulate very well. Run with that. But I get what happened, right? On the come up. You realize that, oh, so many people are making money on social media, being professionals and counseling people and offering therapy. So no one's going to take me serious because those guys have doctor in front of their name. So I'm only going to do it on social media, I could put doctor in front of my name and nobody's going to be the wiser. I'm not trying to get that big. I'm still trying to get a little bit of money. But guess what? You got huge, you got big. So now the bigger you get, the more eyes are on you, so the more scrutiny. That's it. That's what happens. And this is what's happening right now. This is what's happening right now. And you can't put the toothpaste back into the tube after you squeezed it all out. If there's a little bit of toothpaste left in there, close the cap and stop the cap.
For the most part, my sessions with Nick Cannon, Cam Newton, Shannon Sharp, B. Simone, they have all been for the world to see, right? So no one knew who Dr.
So now all of a sudden, interviews that you've done with these celebrities, all of a sudden those are therapy sessions? Those are counseling sessions? I highly doubt those were therapy sessions. I think those were interviews where you ended up answering some questions that could be answered in a session. Don't play with us, doctor, okay? You know that's some BS.
Bryant was prior to seeing all of my sessions that were live. And they deemed it, as well as I did before they did it, they can't validate me, I validated myself, they deemed it as my work being effective. I am effective myself at what I do. I'm educated and I'm successful in my lane, and I'll land on this, I created my own lane. And so a lot of times, Marissa, when people say that you created something that maybe they couldn't, admiration turns into envy. And you got to be okay. And you got to be okay with that in that
as an
space.
attack. But I think, and I've gotten this question from many viewers, and I owe it to them.
You
in
do.
Service to
Absolutely.
them. Why not drop doctor from your name if you cannot
Simple.
bring forth that doctoral degree?
So I've already covered this, right? And we're here obviously to talk about my new book. So I've earned the title. I have multiple degrees, and I'm not going to prove anything to anybody. And we're going to leave it just as that. Yeah.
Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
Baby.
Right? As she goes in for this very awkward pound or handshake. Hold on, I got you. You guys
and that's where, and you're standing by that.
Right? So either way, right? So a couple of episodes back, I actually spoke on this, right? And she went on the Breakfast Club interview and she kind of messed up, right? So let's take a look at that real quick. Oh, I know that guy. He's a doctor. Or anything that she needed to actually get into said school.
And I went to contact the school and say, hey, I need my official transcripts. I need my entire thing. And there was no school. I was like, okay, I'm confused. I Google. It says this school has been shut down. I said, oh, well, they got to have records. I mean, they were accredited when I attended the school. They were accredited when I finished the program. I go and look, there is a third party that has the records. Where I contact the third party, that third party only holds records for 2 years.
Based on what she said here, I decided to do some research because I was like, you know what? This sounds credible. This sounds like it could possibly be the truth, right? So now I go to Google and I ask Google to get your records from the closed Argosy University. You should order transcripts and diplomas online through Parchment, right? So now Parchment is the third party company that she's speaking on, right? So which serves as the official custodian of records. You can register and submit requests directly on the Parchment Argosy page, right? So then I go to the page, but I couldn't get in, obviously, because I wasn't a student. But I know somebody who did. So I couldn't get in. And I wasn't going to try to, finagle my way into the website. Didn't care, right? So now she stated, let's go back to what she said.
Where I contact the third party, that third party only holds records for 2 years.
So she said that third party only holds records for 2 years. How long does Parchment hold on to transcripts from Argosy University? So Parchment generally maintains access to digital records for closed institutions like Argosy University, often holding them for decades or indefinitely. If I'm not correct here, I might be delusional, but I think it's more than 2 years in a decade. I think it's 10 years, right? 10 years equals a decade, right? Indefinitely might mean forever or an unspecified amount of time. Now, remember what I just said right there. I mean, what the good doctor just said right there, right? So I then woke up this morning, scrolling. I was actually looking for something to entertain myself. I wasn't trying to do any kind of research. But then this guy, ended up on my feed. So I was like, This guy says, his name is Dr. Dennis Wrinkler, right? So then he broke down what it took to get his transcripts from being in the same school that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant was in, right? And that would be the Argosy University, right? And she stated that they only hold the transcripts for up to 2 years. Argosy University shut down in 2019, right? Which is about 7 years ago, right? So this guy on the 13th, which was 2 days ago, right, did this.
Level licensure, she'll be good. But the problem is because the school wasn't accredited, because that program wasn't accredited, it would make her less likely to be able to become a professor or at an institution or research at an institution. Because I know people who've gone through that program and they struggle with getting full-time professorship. Right. Because they kind of, but again, let me see what it says here. So today, May the 13th, 2026, is that today? I went ahead and I paid to see what if I could get my transcript and how long it would take.
So obviously, this is a transaction that he did when he purchased his transcript 2 days ago, which is way past the 2 year mark that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant spoke on, right? The 2 year limit, right? So you know what? I'm not going to interrupt too much more on this. I don't want this to be a long video. I want this to be kind of an update video to show that she is really on some BS right here. She is lying. She is being exposed left and right. And listen, this is not fun to me, right? This is just me trying to be informative to those that want to know what's going on with this lady, right? To those that are paying this woman for books, those that are paying this woman for services, right? You need to know this, right? You need to know that your money is going into the pockets of the person that you are intending to pay. If you are intending to pay a doctor, you should be paying a doctor. If you are intending to pay an influencer, then she got that. She got that down pat. She is the perfect influencer for you to pay for any kind of counseling if you want counseling from an influencer. A smart one.
So It cost me $27.50.
This guy's pretty long-winded.
It cost me $27.50. And I received a receipt in my email. Yeah, it's from this website that everybody was talking about, Parchment Team, the Parchment Team. So yeah, I wanted to know, at least let me buy it, right? It let me purchase it. It then took me through a process to verify my email. I did that. Then it sent me my receipt again. Then it says access transcripts.
So basically, he got access to his transcripts within minutes of purchasing the transcripts. Minutes, right? So he paid for access to his transcripts and got it within minutes, right? Not only did he get access to it, right?
It said access transcripts. Hold up, let's look at the times. Let's go. I think it's good. Okay, here, 5:50.
He's just breaking down the times.
Your document has been received.
It's been a matter of minutes.
The receipt. All right.
So now he opens up his transcripts.
If you want to know if I'm
right, there's his name right there, school right there, Argosy University, Northern Virginia, right? And that's his transcript. 4 pages worth.
Your boy is going to show you his transcript. And I'm very proud of my transcript, by the way. You know,
right.
And,
again, this guy's long-winded. We don't need any more information from him. We seen it. We see the proof. We noticed that, you know, what she said. We noticed that what she said at the Breakfast Club interview, that she's literally bullshitting us, right? Now, if someone's willing to bullshit us in that moment, the way that she did, how can we believe anything else that she says? Right? How can we believe anything else that she says? You know, and there was an interesting comment down here as well. Oh, there it is right here. Former director of administrations at Argosy University here. Yes, she is lying. That's really unfortunate. And what she doesn't understand is when one lie is uncovered, people will start digging even more. They will dig and dig and dig until you are no more. Right? I encourage you to come clean. I encourage you to just, you know, keep it 100, tell the truth. And that way, you know, you'll be set free. You know, now if you're set free and you start to lose a lot of money because of it, I mean, at the very least, you'll have the peace of mind that you are actually being who you are. Right? Sometimes the money is what's really holding you to that lie, the money, the lifestyle and stuff like that. I think you should really, really, really think about, you know, releasing yourself from this pain, this anguish, because this can't feel good. This can't feel good. Right? You're about to have bags underneath the eyes the size of a Birkin. You really need to take control of this and, you know, really pray about it. Since you believe in God so much, right? You need to really pray about it and, you know, wait for him to tell you to tell the truth, you know, versus being out here telling lies. Are you praying to the right one? It's so weird that you're saying that God is leading you in all these directions. God is the one that's telling you to do this. God is the one that's paving the road for you to follow, right? You're saying all of this stuff, but I honestly don't think you're praying to the right one, because based on my research, God doesn't do that. The devil does. Right? And I'm not super religious. I don't, you know, follow too much about it, you know, but this is what you're saying. These are your words. I don't know. So again, guys, like, comment, subscribe if you are appreciating this content. You know, keep the conversation going in the comments, please. And, you know, hit that hype button if I have it. You know, I don't know if I have it yet. But yeah, if you think Cheyenne Bryant is a charlatan and she's just really fleecing people for money, you know, let me know. If not, you if you think that she should continue doing what she's doing, leave that in the comments as well. We can have that discussion. But I honestly think she can keep doing what she's doing if she tells the truth. She would have to rebuild herself, rebuild her clientele, but man, to be drowning in these lies the way that she is, I could see no good coming out of it at the end. Like, I'm looking at the bigger picture, not the success that she has as of right now, but I'm pretty sure that success is starting to go down and not up. Now, it's probably going down to a level where we really can't see it at a macro level, but I really think that it's going to go down based on these lies. Anyway, see you on the next one, guys. Peace.
But I ain't here to fit. I'm here to win. Versus the algorithm. I don't fold, I don't bend. I don't follow ways, I correct them again. If it's real, let it stand. If it's fake, let it end. Step into the arena, let the breakdown begin. You don't gotta agree,